got another fantastic transformation landing. There's been diets in the past where I haven't managed it as well, and I have binged a little bit.
We learn how to understand people, how to get the most out of people, how to train people, how to cue people in exercise and training, actually training hard.
Good morning, people. Welcome back to the YouTube. I have literally just woke up. As you can tell by the puffy face and the pillow marks that are still on my my forehead, but it is 5:33 a.m. and I'm going to take you with me on a day in the life. That's what you guys call it. So a full day in the life. I've got some personal training sessions, some one-to-one sessions in about 30 minutes, so I better get a move on. But I've literally just woke up. There is no fancy morning routine. I get up. I don't go outside on the balcony and shout affirmations. I don't get a cold shower. I wake up, I snooze my alarm a couple of times. I go in the shower, I brush my teeth in the shower. I get ready and I get shit done. I get to work, go and train my morning clients, and then I'll take you with me for the rest of the day. So I better get some clothes on. I better get myself ready, and I will see you in a little bit.
Okay, so 3 personal training sessions done, 20 minutes of Stairmaster done, so cardio done, and now off home for breakfast. So that is my morning routine. I've got people relying on me to help them achieve their goals and help them make progress, and I do love it. You know, it's an early start. It gets me out of bed, and you know, by 9 o'clock, when most people are just starting the day, I've got 3 people close to the goals. So you had Vinay there, the first client, and literally he had 0 experience in the gym. He'd never been to the gym before. He'd not really had done a lot of exercise over the past few years before he started with us. And he now, as you could see in the video, squatting with great confidence to depth, as to grass, with great form, and he's got a lot stronger and a lot healthier. He's been a really, really good client to train. And then we've got Darren after, the second client, who we have a fantastic transformation landing next week that I'm going to be posting on my Instagram, so keep your eyes out for that. But he's lost about 30 kilos. His transformation, not just, you know, how he looks, but in the way in which he behaves over the course of the week, his routine, his habits, his eating has massively transformed. You know, as someone who is a really, really successful real estate agent out here in Dubai. You know, I think the missing link for him then would to be just to get in shape and drop body fat, and so that, you know, I think that however successful you are, however well you do in business, I think people always take you a lot more seriously when you can enter into a room and someone can say, oh, he looks good, he looks like he takes care of himself, and that's something I massively stand by. And then my third and final client from this morning was Ollie, who is a friend from the UK. You know, we actually moved out here to Dubai at similar times as well. So it's been always great to work with him, and you know, things have really clicked. He's had a really turbulent year. There's a lot going on, but we've been able to help him deal with all of that by keeping a lot of structure in his life, keeping some hard training in his life, and keeping him accountable to coming into the gym and training and doing his online check-ins as well. And then as a result of that, as a result of staying focused, staying structured whilst the chaos is going on, he's been able to drop a lot of body fat, build a lot of muscle, and is now, you know, a few weeks away from holiday where he's going to be going away in fantastic shape and feeling confident and feeling good. So a lot of positive stuff going on with my personal one-to-one clients. I've had some valuable conversations with them, and I've done my cardio, so it's a great start to the day. And I think that personal training at the moment, I think a lot of people getting into the industry, they skip that personal training step and they go straight into the online coaching world now because everyone's trying to make a quick buck. And you know, we know that, you know, money can be made online coaching, but I think where you really learn how to understand people, how to get the most out of people, how to train people, how to cue people in exercise and training, actually training hard, and you know, translating that and enabling yourself to actually learn how to teach people, how to actually coach people properly. Having that time on the gym floor, spending those 1,000 hours on the gym floor actually training people, actually coaching people, really does help you elevate your coaching ability if you are wanting to go into the online coaching world. And I do feel like it's massively, you know, helped my business over the years. I've been doing this, you know, over 8 years now, and the first few years of that was purely personal training, purely getting people in shape from the time that I spent with them inside the gym. And I think it's massively valuable, you know. I think because at the moment, anyone can fucking write a training plan and a diet plan, but how you get the most out of someone, because every single client is different. You know, you learn how people tick, you learn how to get the most out of them, you learn, you know, a lot about human psychology and about why people are behaving a certain way and how to change that behavior. So I think it's massively important to be able to learn how to do that and spend that time on the gym floor, which can really benefit your business long term as you get into online coaching, and you then have to translate that coaching ability online, which can be sometimes a lot harder to do, you know. And so to be actually as well be able to get that out of the training what you need is hard online, because you're not spending that time on the gym floor with them. You're not there in person. You can't manipulate their body position with physically. You know, you have to help them do that through visualization and through cues that you give them through a WhatsApp message or a voice note or a check-in. So actually learning that in person first is so important. And you know, I really get a lot of satisfaction out of personal training, as well as online coaching, because I'm spending a lot of time with them, you know. And with online coaching, a lot of the time that can depend on how much you actually speak to the client and how much the client is good at communicating with you, and how much you can speak to them online. Whereas personal training, you're spending 2-3 hours per week with someone. You really get to understand them as a person, get to, you know, see what makes them tick and how to get the most out of them as an individual. And then if you can provide the coaching service alongside that, because a lot of personal trainers don't, they just literally count reps. But if you can actually do the online stuff with them as well, provide the training programs away from what they're doing with you, provide the nutrition programs, supplementation, and make sure they're staying accountable and moving towards the goals every single week, you can provide such a massively positive service to someone when you are working with someone in person. And then if you're building up those results as a personal trainer, that's then what's going to translate through to a great online coaching business. So I suppose that's a little bit of advice for someone who is thinking about getting into the industry, thinking about getting into online coaching. And I think that, you know, that time spent on the gym floor actually training people is massively beneficial. So I'm driving home right now from a client's. I will have meal one, have my breakfast, and then I want to actually take you through, obviously we're taking you through the rest of the day anyway, but I want to give you a little bit of an update on where I'm at with my nutrition post-show, where I'm at with my training, and what's going to be the plan going forward, and everything behind that. And then we'll take you through what's on for the rest of the day, as my day is only just starting. So I'll keep you posted, guys. I'll take you with us. Okay, so we are back from the gym, showered, fed, had meal one, which is 1 whole egg, 8 egg whites, 100 grams of white rice, which is one of my favourite meals of the day. So I make like egg fried rice. But today is not going to be about food. I'm not going to include any meals. I'm going to talk you through my setup a little bit later on, but I feel like the last few videos have been very, very food orientated. So just literally a day in the life today, and this is me back at my desk after my one-to-one clients this morning. And usually I have about 15 to 20 check-ins to do in this first block before I go off to the gym. So look at all that data and look at all that information and look at how things are progressing, and make sure that we are making steps forward and progressing every single week. And if we're not, I might come in and make some adjustments. I'll then send over a Loom video to the client and explain exactly why I'm making certain adjustments. If there's been any issues, we'll troubleshoot those together on the video, and I'll talk them through exactly what might be happening and the mechanisms behind it, and explain how we can fix that issue, and also then explain the adjustments I might be making to keep things moving forward, and exactly why I'm making those changes. Because it's important that not only does the client follow the plan and get results, it's important that they understand the process, and it's an educational process along the way, so they fully understand the reasons why we're making certain changes, so that whenever they might walk away from the program, because coaching for most people isn't forever. When they do walk away from the program, they know exactly what they're doing on their own then as well, whether it comes to fat loss, whether it comes to building muscle, whether it comes to certain situations that they might need to navigate, how they navigate those. And they obviously build up their knowledge and their expertise in physique development as well, because that's the goal. I know that, coaching, it's not forever for everyone. So if I can know for a fact that when a client walks away, they know exactly what they're doing, they're armed with all the tools and the knowledge to be able to continue their progress on their own and continue to improve, then as far as I'm concerned, my job has been done very, very well. So I'm going to get into these check-ins now. And then I'm going to catch you up on a little bit about my progress and what my plans are as well going forward. So I'll catch up with you after I finish my work. Yes, Rav, hope you well, mate. Really, really happy with where we're at the moment. Okay, very, very positive morning of check-ins. Really happy with how everyone's doing. I do actually notice that how maybe this is not the right thing to say, but it does affect how I feel and my mood, how my clients are doing. If my clients are all doing really well, everyone's smashing it, everyone's making great progress, I feel fantastic, feel in a good mood, and I'm excited then to go and focus on my own stuff. But sometimes, every now and again, you can get a client that's just not locking in, man. It's like, lock in, bro. But if they, that's my job. That's my job then, to provide solutions and find out a way where they can lock in. So what I thought I'd do is I'd update you on where I'm at the moment as well now, before I head off to the gym, and talk you through what my current setup is, because obviously I am 3 weeks post-show, but obviously I've pushed my food up, and this part of the process is probably a lot harder than parts of actual fat loss, because the immediate goal and the big overarching goal has now gone. We passed the show, we've done that, we've ticked it off. I've got things coming up in the summer, but there's nothing I need to be peeled for, but it's in my best interest
to manage this process as well as I possibly can, to stay as lean as I possibly can whilst reversing out of the fat loss phase and getting my food pushed up and feeling good, feeling healthy, and obviously in a really good position to be able to then grow off the back of it and keep my sensitivity where it needs to be, keep myself in a really responsive position. So even though, you know, it's very, very hard not to say, it's very, very hard to say no to anything now. After 4 months of dieting and saying no to a lot of things, it's very, very hard to have that restraint again, when there's not a huge goal right in front of us, and it's about having that delayed gratification again and thinking, if I do the right things now, if I control myself a little bit now and don't eat loads of shit and eat loads of food off plan, that's only going to ever make me feel worse. You know, the food isn't going anywhere. And if I can lock in and do this, my progress over the next 12 months will be 10x, you know, from what it could have been. And that's the hardest part. You know, when you finish a fat loss phase, sometimes you just want to fucking eat the world and eat everything that you missed out on. But you've always got to remember that food isn't going anywhere. You know what it tastes like. You can have a little bit more flexibility, but you just can't be a dickhead about it. You can't be binging every other day. It's just not conducive, and it has been hard. Obviously, you saw at the Albertine that we went in a little bit with the food, but you know, it definitely was a lot better, and it could have been a lot worse. And definitely there's been diets in the past where I haven't managed it as well, and I have binged a little bit, but I think that every diet you do, you get a little bit more mature with it. You get a little bit more experience, and you understand how things feel, you understand what the process is, and you understand that, yeah, I am feeling that hunger right now, I am feeling those cravings right now, but it's normal, and it's going to be okay. So, eating my pre-workout meal, ready to go to the gym. My food has been pushed up. I'm eating now on training days 4,200-ish calories, looking at just under 700 grams of carbs. And then obviously on non-training days, I am looking at 3,700, 3,800 calories, but less carbohydrates and a little bit more dietary fats. Obviously, because on a non-training day, I don't have that need for glycogen, I don't have that need for loads of carbohydrates. So, you know, to pull that down a little bit on those days just makes sense, and make sure that obviously recovery is there from the adequate protein, and obviously the healthy fats will help regulate everything and help how I'm feeling and help with digestion, etc. So that is the setup that we've got. Obviously, you know, that might sound like a lot of food, but I am still absolutely starving. The lowest we got to in prep was like 3,000 calories, I think. So I understand that some people just have to fucking dig a lot harder than that, and sometimes you have to eat a lot less food, but I'm quite heavy, I've built a lot of muscle over the years, and I've also done this process very consistently for a long period of time, and I do think that the more consistent you are over the course of a 12-month period does lead to better diet phases and easier diet phases. I think that the people who stray from the plan, people who eat a lot of shit, people who maybe take times off and aren't as consistent with the structure and the meals that they're eating throughout the course of the year, often then do struggle to get those metabolic processes going in a fat loss phase to actually get the body to respond the way they want it and to be as sensitive as what they need. So I do think it's important to, even though you should have some flexibility, you need to enjoy yourself. I think having some structure and having accountability throughout a year is really, really important for your progress, and also, you know, when you do come into a fat loss phase, you're going to be able to make much better progress. So I'm going to eat this. I'm now then heading to the gym for an upper body session. I'm not going to show you the full session because I feel like I've done that a lot in recent videos, which we will come down to, you know, later in the future. But today is about, like, you know, day in the life. Well, you know, how does my day look? And I'm going to head to the gym and train upper body. And then after the gym, I'll talk you through my new training split and the reasons why we're doing that. Because this is actually the first time I've ever done a full upper body session, and I've only done it once so far since the show, and I actually really quite enjoyed it. So we'll take you through the top working sets of that session, and then I'll talk you through my new training split and why I'm running with that after the session as well. So I'll catch up with you then. Okay, so home, showered, had my post-workout meal, just getting into a couple of client replies. We've got another fantastic transformation landing. We're going to be posting that one tonight, so have a look on the Instagram. If you're not following already, I will put my Instagram handle here. So follow that up, obviously get to see transformations, a little bit of tips. I try to refrain from posting shitty little tips these days and try to, more to post about results. I'm going to be clipping these clips up, and I feel like provide a little bit more nuance into those and get those onto my Instagram as well. I think I saw a video this morning of someone saying, if you want big biceps, massive biceps in fact, do this. And they did a bicep curl. I thought, fuck me, groundbreaking stuff. And he had small biceps. And that's just why I'm a little bit fed up of Instagram. Anyway, I digress. Get on the Instagram, get onto some results, and if you are thinking about taking your physique to the next level, drop me a message. I would love to help. You've seen the results on the page, and we can do that for you too. So, what I want to do is, well, now you just see me train upper body. I want to talk through my training split, and what I'm trying to do now, obviously I did get some feedback from the show that I needed to put mass on all around. I needed to fill my frame. I knew that anyway, and that is always the goal. That is physique development, right? Physique development is every single year making sure that you are making improvements, building muscle, so that when you are lean next time, you can see those improvements. You can see that you have grown tissue. Otherwise, you know that you have wasted your time during physique development, and that would never change. Even though there's the cap difference with the classic physique class, where I only have 3 kg to play with. None of it really matters, because the process of physique development, the process of building muscle and then getting lean will always stay the same, and I'm always going to want to improve as much as possible and improve my physique where I need to improve it. So my split is going to reflect that. I need to put on mass all over, particularly in certain places like my legs, particularly my hamstrings, and just grow all over. So we're looking at a program now. My training split is something that I've not actually trained upper body as a whole session, but I've actually been really enjoying it. The last 2 sessions, we had a really good session today. So how the session, the split looks, is push and arms on day 1, back and hamstrings, then we rest, and then we're into upper body, and then a full, big, nasty leg session. So it's literally just 4 days, it's a 4-day split, and we're doing 2 days on, 1 day off. What that enables me to do is train things very, very frequently. There's a lot of hamstring volume in there. And by doing that upper body session altogether, it means I'm not wasting days and wasting time doing shitloads of volume in my upper body when it just doesn't need it. If you think about your training volume and the amount of working sets that you do as almost like tokens that you can use towards your growth. And if you have so many tokens that you can recover from every single week, and that's what's going to help you grow, if you're then doing loads of volume on body parts that don't really need to come up compared to others, then they're going to need recovery demand as well. They're going to have a demand on your recovery capabilities, and they're going to maybe take away then from other muscle groups that need to come up. And then, we need to make sure that we're training as intensely as possible and as hard as possible, and make sure that we're progressing every single week. And if you can't recover, you're not going to be able to progress things. So the 2 days on, 1 day off gives me a lot of recovery, helps me rest very, very often, and helps keep me fresh and ready to perform as best as I possibly can in all of my sessions. And then the frequency of the body parts that I'm training is very, very high. So I'm able to have a lot of opportunities to improve every single body part. And that, I do believe, is going to bring me a lot of progress. I've literally just done 2 rotations of it in the last couple of weeks since my show. Obviously not massively pushing things because I am coming off the back of a big prep where we pushed it. I was very, very lean. I'm now recovering from that. My goal is to stay injury free, be able to stay in the gym for as long as I possibly can, and improve as much as I possibly can, and also recover and get healthy, because a bodybuilding prep is not the healthiest thing that you can do, whether you're natural or you're enhanced. However you do it, you're pushing your body, you are pushing things in terms of body fat, your body does not want to be there. So, there is a little bit of a trade-off, but at the end of the day, we all have a poison. I used to play a sport where I could literally have broke my neck any day or any week. And now I don't do that. I really enjoy pushing myself, and I always will, whether I'm bodybuilding, whether I'm playing rugby, whatever I'm doing in terms of my sport or exercise, I will always look to push things to the limit and push my body and test the boundaries and see what I can achieve, because that's what makes me tick and that's what makes me happy. So we've got a 4-day split. We're going to run it as long as we can. Obviously, we're going to show you lots of training content on the YouTube as much as possible, and it's going to be exciting. And I think that training is massively overlooked. Just to finish, just a final point, I think training is so overlooked when it comes to physique development. When I'm working with clients, training is probably the biggest variable that's going to have the biggest difference towards their physique and their actual development. Yes, a lot of the time people come in with problems with the nutrition, they struggle to adhere to a diet plan, they want to drop body fat. But if we're actually thinking about physique development in itself, I have seen people improve their physique so much just by going through their training with a fine-tooth comb. And a lot of people think they know what they're doing with the training, and that's not their fault. They've been training for a while, they think they know how to train, but you very, very quickly realise there is a lot more to it, that you can be a lot more accurate, and you can get a lot more out of your training split, your training volume, your frequency, and the actual intensity and accuracy of your sessions if you go through it in detail and really make sure it's as specific as possible for you. And that's what obviously I do with my clients. So I have got now probably an hour or 2 of client work. What I do when I get back from the gym, obviously most of my check-ins are done. It's now more about replying to stuff on WhatsApp, maybe late check-ins that are coming in. I do have lots of clients actually sending training videos, so this is the time where I sit and I review training footage and get back on the training point. We look at the training footage. Some people that have been training for years and years, and we can always make improvements on their accuracy and execution of everything that they're doing. So I will then obviously finish up here, and then I've got some steps to do, and then I'll wind down for the evening then. So it's probably not the most exciting day in the life. Obviously this is a working day for me, but this is me, and this is, I think I've spoken about this a couple of times on the channel, and this is, you know, what I've created. You know, this is what I want to do. I'm very, very grateful to be able to do what I do every single day, as you've seen on this video, and to be able to train when I want, to be able to train multiple times a day, and then to be able to work with people who are very, very excited to work with me, who listen to me, who trust me with their physique development and have faith in me. And honestly, I feel very, very lucky to be here in Dubai and honestly living the dream. So yeah, we'll get into the rest of the day, but with there's not too much left, but I do really appreciate everyone watching. So what I do love about being in Dubai, living in an apartment, as opposed to a countryside town, Huddersfield, where I'm from, is that we have a gym downstairs. So once I finish my work, it's around 6:30 now. Once I've finished all my work for the day, I come down here and I do 30 minutes of steps, walking, cardio, whatever you want to call it. And then once I'm back upstairs, phone stays on until around 9 o'clock. And I'll go on Do Not Disturb, and I try and wind down for the evening. We move next week to the new apartment, so I'm very, very looking forward to that. It's going to be very ideal. So we'll just probably do a bit of an apartment tour at some point when it's all looking nice. Get Josie on the interior design there, get it all looking good for some content. But that's all from me today. It's been a good, productive, successful day. If you enjoyed the video and you've got this far, give us a like, drop a comment, let me know if there's anything you do want to see on the channel. I'm enjoying getting these videos out, and it seems like everyone's enjoying them too. So I'm going to get as many hours as I can. Once a week is good at the moment, working well, and I imagine to stick to that. I do need to work out how to clip it up and post on Instagram, because I would like to post some little shorts. I do feel like I dropped some little golden nuggets of knowledge at some points as well. So anyway, I'm rambling. I feel like I've talked a lot in this video, so hopefully it's not just a long video of me just talking shit. I will sign off now. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.